10 or 12 minutes into the video that I'm yet to complete, but based on all the functions we listed out, I've been able to practicalize all of them: upper, lower, upper, left, right, trim, like I said, and mid, find and search, learn, LEN. I've tried all that out, but I still have like 15 more minutes to finish the video. So I don't know if there are still more functions because I couldn't, I was logged off during the meeting last week. So I had to catch up with but the only difficulties I had when I was trying, because it did something about generating email. So I tried generating email. I was having a bit of difficulty. So I tried using, forgotten that function because I had to go and do my own research to be able to generate my own email the way it did. But I don't know, maybe he explained to them when I left the meeting, or maybe he has not talked about that at all. So that's the only challenge I have. Thank you.
No, I did not think I did not generate email. Oh, I only generated, sorry for cutting in. I only generated data using ChatGPT. I did not generate email, please. Can you hear me? Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yeah, I did not generate email. I generated the data using ChatGPT. I think that's the difference. It was not email I generated. So it was through the ChatGPT generator. That was how I was able to get the emails.
Oh, okay. I thought probably you went through that where before you started the class, which I missed. So I was even struggling to do it, but let's get it.
Okay, what about you, Ms. Titilayo, Mr. Patrick, and Ms. Jumai? So, did you watch the video and did you try it out? Can you hear me? Are you on this call?
Yes, I watched the video, I tried it, and I got it. It was okay.
Okay, Mr. Patrick, are you with us? Mr. Patrick?
Yes, I'm with you guys. Yes, I'm with you guys. Good evening. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I actually watched the video, and I think I was able to lay my hands on a couple of the commands, but I'll still have to go back to them again and look through them. And also, I asked you to I made a request for some data that we could work on. You didn't respond. Apologies. I would have followed up on you on that. I knew you were very busy.
Okay, but you could have just generated, just like Mr. Diet did. Could have generated a data from ChatGPT, so that you could have well worked on it.
I think that's what I'll do. I'll try and generate data, see what I can come up with.
Okay, so Ms. Titilayo, yeah, I to hear from you. Ms. Titilayo, are you on this call?
Yeah, I'm on this call. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I don't really have any issues with any of these things we are doing for now. And for now, I don't have any issues. That's all I have to say.
All right then. Okay, so we'll be handing over to our facilitator now. Mr. D, over to you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So, I think I was listening to everybody's feedback, and I think based on the feedback we had, a good number of us already understood or got everything we need to get from what's it called now? From text functions. So like I said in the other class, it does not necessarily have to come in that format. It can come in another totally different format entirely. Like you might just need it to do something very random. Like today, I needed to clean a particular text. So I found out that the text, they had something at the back, at the tail end, like, and there was a similar pattern. That is it has a slash that is like a similar pattern. And what I needed was at the lower bottom. Let me just show you. I'm coming. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So that's sheets.net. Yes, I know I'm not sharing my screen yet, so I'm going to share it. Um, I- okay, yeah. I'm going to share my screen now. Uh, to- yeah, you can see my screen. So I needed to do, these are links. I had something like this, which are different links. And then I needed to pull the numbers after, that is the 96, whatever, the numbers after the link. And I had to use the right function to do it. So I'm just going to brush through this. This is not part of the class. I'm just showing us that it does not always end at, like, we can need it in different situations that is totally different from the examples I put in the class. So I'm just going to push us through this one now. So what I need is, I need these numbers, the numbers at the tail end. So C2, comma, number of character, because I'm using right, I want to put from the right. So length of C2, then minus find. So what I'll be finding here, that is the same, that is similar here is so what I'll be finding here that is similar is the slash. Yes, but there's a difference from the way we did the other ones and this one now. So what I'll be finding here is the slash, then text to find, C2. And then if I close this now, the result I will get is not the result I want. So I'm going to press enter and press yes. This is the result I got, but that's not what I want. The reason I have this result is that it's checked the first slash. It's checked for the first slash in the text. So there is a third function, search for slash, text to search. Then the last one is starting from, that is, you can tell it to start from a particular number of text, like start counting from a particular number of text. So at default, it starts counting from 1. So when it starts counting from 1, the first slash is going to see will be the HTTP slash, this first slash. That's the first thing it's going to see. So what I did was, I just pick up a random number that it should start from. I checked 40. I checked 20 first off. I checked 20, start from the 20th text. And I found out that, okay, it start counting from the image. That's not what I want. I increased it to 40. Okay, from 40, I have same logo. It stopped as this logo. That's not what I want. So I increased it to around 45. I still have this same logo slash. So I increased this to, like, I think 48. Then I got the actual number I want. I can use 47. Okay, 48. then I got the actual number I want. So the reason for that is because we have different slashes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have like 6 different slashes. So assuming it's a situation where we have a single slash or a single factor, a single common factor now, it will be easier to like get the last text. So I drag this down and I'm able to get the numbers I got, which this is what I needed. And as an extra, let's say I need to quote this. Let's say I need to put a comma after each one of these. Maybe where I need it, I need to put a comma after each one. So I'm going to use the concatenate. What I mean by that is this, then concatenate, comma, because I want to put a comma at every instance. So it means when I want to copy this, I don't need to copy and start adding comma. I can use the concatenate function to add comma myself. Then I can copy this and paste it wherever I want to paste it to use for this function. So that is what the text function, that is what it is used for. Like you can literally need it for randomly anything at any point in time. Yeah. So that's the magic of the text function. I'm doing this on Google Sheets. You can also do it on you can do it on Excel, on normal Excel. So today we've done so I'm going to share Excel. We've done what's the word now? We've done text function. So what we'll be doing today is conditional statements. Yes, we'll be moving to conditional statements. We'll be moving to conditional statements. So I'm going to share my screen. So in running some calculations, there are certain times that you have to put a criteria before before running that calculation. There are times you have to have certain criteria before you can get your answer. So say for example now, I have students, I have different students. Let me use ChatGPT to make this faster. Generate so I want to generate 50 names. 50 random names. Make them male and female at random. So okay, yeah. Okay. So I've generated these names and gender, name, gender, and values. Okay. So I have name, gender, and I want to add their score. So I'm just going to randomly generate score for them. Say between 34 to 100 or to 99. Control C, Control paste values only. So we have the names, and then we have the gender, and then we have the scores. This is 50 different details. I'm not liking this. I want to Control C. Okay. Yeah, this is better. Okay, yeah. So we have names, gender, and score. Now we want to know certain criteria. So say for example, we want to know if the number of males, then we want to know the number of females. So when we were doing counts the other day, we did counts, and then we gave them the value of what they are going to count. Say, for example, if I want to count non-empty cell or empty cell and all of that. And I made mention that there is a count if that counts based on a particular condition. So one of those conditions is the if statement. So we are going to be using the if statement in this case. And what the if statement does is that when you write a logic and you say if say for example, if Bola is a girl, give her maybe 5 naira, for example, $5. But if Bola is not a girl, then don't give her anything. For example, that's an example of a logic statement. That is, you check through the process, and then based on what you've checked, if that particular condition is met, then give the person this particular result. So we are going to be testing it out in various scenarios. So for example, now we have this score, and then we want to give them grade from A to F, for example. I want to give them grade from A to F. Please let us pay attention very, very well. We are now going higher level, like one step further than what we were doing before. So say for example now, for conditional statements, we use if statements. So it says check whether a condition is met and return one value if true and another value if false. That is, when it checks that particular condition that we want to give it, if the condition is true, it is going to return whatever we want it to return as true. Or if it is false, it is going to return the false equivalence. So let's check it out. So our logical test is if this grade we have, if D3 is, let's say if D3 is greater than, let's say if D3 is greater than, no, this is, if D3 is greater than 70, if it is greater than 70, so this is the logical test, that is greater than or less than. So if D3 is greater than 70, comma, what value do you want to input if it is true? So if it is greater than 70, I want it to input very true. Remember what I said about text, that anytime you want to write a text in Excel, you have to make sure that you are writing the text in between a quote. So if it is greater than 70, return very true. But if it is not greater, return very false. So what we have just done is that we told this is our logical statement, this is our logical function. Check if D3 is greater than 70. So after checking, if it is true, return, this is what we want it to return. If it is false, return this. This is what we want it to return. And then we'll press enter. So let me push this down. So now we can see 88, of course, 88 is greater than 70, very true. 64 is less than 70, very false. 79 is greater, very true. 79, very true. 90, very true. 95, very true. 71, very true. 82, very true. 73, very true. Now, yes, this is what I want to show us. 70, it is writing very false. That is because 70 is not greater than 70. It is only going to return for values greater than. So let's say, for example, if we want to be inclusive of 70 here, what we will do will now be greater than or equals to. Then if we do this, it will be very true. So I'm just showing us that as an example. So we can see now it has returned very true, very false, and the likes. So now we want to use this to computate A to F. That is, we have a grading system. So let's say A, B, C, D, E. Okay, let me start from, let me say A, B, C, D, E, F. Yes, A to F. And we want our A to be 70 and above. 70 and above. We want our B to be 60 to 69. We want our C to be 50 to 59. Our D to be 40 to, no, we want our D to be 45 to 49. We want our E to be 40 to 45. And then we want our F to be less than 40. So anytime the person scores anything less than 40, it is going to be an F. So this is what we want to do. And in doing this, we are going to be, there's something called nested function. Nested function is imputing a function inside another function. That is simply what nested function is. So we are going to use if statements. So if this, so we are going to impute all of these statements as a singular, like in a go. That is what I mean by nested statements. So if D3 is greater than or equals to 70, return A. That is, let the score be A. Then, if the value is false, instead of writing what it will be if the value is false, we are going to make use of another if statement again. That is what nested function means. So if the value is false, because we have all of these conditions to meet, so what we are going to do is we are going to write another if statement. So if, again, if D3 is greater than or equals to 60. Now, because we started a function, we don't need to write 60 to 69 again. What will happen is that when the function is trying to pass around, the first thing is going to check if it meets this first condition. So if it does not meet this first condition, it will move to the next condition. So that's why I'm able to write greater than or equals to 60 here. That is, it will first check for 70, greater than or equals to 70. If it does not pass, it checks greater than or equals to 60. So for greater than or equals to 60, return E. So if false again, we'll use another if statement. If D3 is greater than or equals to the lowest bound here is 50, then if false, if true, return C. If false, again, another if statement. If this is greater than or equals to, so our next one will be 45. If true, return C. If false, another if statement again. If D3 is greater than or equals to 40, in this case, it's going to be 40. If true, return E. If false, so at this point, because the last thing is that any other number that we have is, that is, we've tested for 70, which is A, we've tested for 60, which is B, we've tested for 50, which is C, we've tested for 45, which is D, actually, not C, which is D. We've tested for 40, greater than 40, which is E. So the last thing we want to test for is that any other thing is going to be F. So we don't need to write the statement for this last one. So we just need to put F. That is, if it has checked through each of these, any other thing that does not pass all of these would return an F. So correct. And then if I place this down, I'm going to have, let me put this at the middle so that I will be able to see it. I'm going to have, yeah. So if you check across, 59 is within this. We have a C. 88 is within this. We have 70 and above. We have A. We have a B. Like that, till the very end. Do we understand this? If you are in the chat box, I want you to put in the chat box if you got that, or if you are struggling to understand, or where it is confusing for you. So I want to know, I'm waiting for us in the chat box. Did we get that? Did we get that? Did we get that? Did we get that? Okay. Joa is typing, Yemi is typing. Okay, Yemi, you did not understand. Okay, you did not understand. Abi, okay. Okay, so we have two don't understand, two understand. I'm waiting for others. Titilayo, Patrick, Ayodele Paul. Okay, I can recap. Okay. Uh, I'm going to do a recap. I just want to be sure everyone is following. Titilayo, I'm waiting for your response. Who else? Ayodele Paul. Okay, you have another question. Okay, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Joyce. Okay, there are other people here. Noah and Joyce, I'm waiting for your response. Okay, Joyce, you don't understand. I'm waiting for two more response. Ayodele Paul. Oh, three more actually. Noah, I'm waiting for your response too. I can see that the other two are typing. Okay, you understand. Okay. Yes, okay. I think it's only Noah that I did not see his response here. Okay. So, Mr. Emmanuel, you can ask your question. You can unmute your mic.
Okay, good evening. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I want to ask a different question entirely because I've been trying
Okay.
to experiment on different things. So I don't know if you can type it on your screen as I'm asking the question. It's something where I believe it's something simple. So,
Okay.
for example, you type female on your screen. Just
Yeah.
type female.
Okay.
Then put that female into brackets. Bracket open and bracket close.
Okay.
All right. Now, if I want to remove that bracket from this female, which formula can I use?
Okay. To remove the brackets, we can use the left.
Yes, left, right?
Yes. Let me see
How,
how.
how
I
would I
want.
go about it?
Okay. Let me try to use left. This. The number of character is let me see. Number of character is find text, find the brackets, the first brackets, find the first brackets within this text. Um, let me see. Let me see what it returns here. No, left text. Find the number of character. Okay. Nah, I'm coming. -1. Okay. I'm trying to see. For me, need work. Okay. Mid texts. Start number 1. Number of character. Find the last text within this. -1. Start number 2. Comment -2. Okay. The mid function will work with a lot of there should be another way that would work faster.
Okay.
But the mid function will work.
Okay, you know what? You can just continue.
But let me just quickly explain what I did with the mid function. So mid function, unlike the left and right function, for mid function, it returns a character in between, in the middle of a particular text. So you need to give it the text, then the starting number. So because I know that this female, I know that there is a particular comma at the first. So instead of telling it to start from 1, if I made it start from 1, it would have included the first character. So I made it start from 2. That is, start counting from the second character instead. That is, with that, I've been able to remove this first bracket. Then I told you to find the last curly brackets. The last bracket. Then within this particular text, because I want that to be the length of the text, then I remove 2. I removed two characters from it. That's how I'm able to get this. Maybe you can just try it on your own. But I'll try to check to see another totally different way that you can get it easier and faster. So let me quickly re-explain this. I will have to delete all of this formula. So yeah. So what we want to do is that we want to use if and else statement to get the scorecard.
Yes, for my own. I've not raised today my own today registration now.
Okay, yeah. So we want to use these score grades. So we want to use these grades to give all of these scores a particular letter, like their grade letter. So like I explained, what the if and else statement, what it does is that it checks based on a particular condition. It checks if it is met. If it is not met, it's going to give false. If it is met, it's going to give a result. If it is not met, it's going to return the false statement. Like, let's just make it a single function now. So if this score is greater than or equals to 70, that is the score that I have in D3, if it is greater than or equals to 70, return A. If it is not greater than equal to 70, let me just tell it to return not greater, for example, because it's in between a text. So if I do this down, you can see 88 is greater. That's why we have A. 84 is greater. 79 is greater. 90 is greater. 95 is greater. Like that. 70 is greater than or equals to, because I use greater than or equals to. Yeah, you can see all of this and you can see the results, and you can see the ones that are not greater than. So what we now did with what I did with the function is that instead of writing not greater, I now nest another if function that is the false, where we are to write if the value is false. What I did was that I nested another if statement, that is, so if this false statement, if this is not met, then another if statement again for when D3 is greater than or equals to 60. The reason I can write 60 here, like I explained the other time, is that first off, it's going to check for this function first. So when it is checking, it's first going to check if this is met. If this is met, it will end at that. It will cut it off at that. If it is not met, it will keep cycling and keep cycling. So so 60, if it is 60, then greater than or equals to 60, then B, then instead of writing the false, another if statement again, then D3 greater than or equals to 50, then that will be C, then another if statement again, is greater than or equals to 45 in this case, which is D, then another if statement again, if this is greater than or equals to 40, then that is E. Then the final result, which is F, because after it had checked for each one of these one, then the final result, if any of this is not met, if any of this condition is not met, then it's going to return F. And that is how I was able to get across this. So let me quickly show us what this looks like. I'm going to use ChatGPT to generate the function, the flow chart of this. So that we'll be able to understand this better. So while it is generating, so let me just press enter. So what this has done is that for 59, it checks the first statement. A, it does not meet up. B, for this condition, it does not meet up. Then C, it's met up at C. Then we have the answer at C. Like that. So for this one, it checks A, it meets the condition at A. It gave it A. So let me check for F now. For this F, it didn't meet up A, it didn't meet up B, it didn't meet up C, it didn't meet up D, it didn't meet up E. So any other thing is going to be F. So where this is wrong is that if I input 120 here, okay, this is greater than 70. So this is going to be at A. Assuming I created the function to stop at, say, between 100 and 70 now, that would be different. But I'm coming. It's still generating. Still generating flowchart for this. Let me see if I can get something faster. I want to show us the flowchart so that we'll be able to understand it better. Um, just give me a few minutes, please. Few minutes. Okay, so yeah, I have one already. Let me see. I want to see the second one. I want to see which one is better. Okay. Okay, let me use this. I think we'll understand this better. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I think all of us can see this. So this is how it works. So the first if statement, let me try to put it side by side so that we'll be able to see both. We'll be able to see both parties. Please give me a few minutes. I'm trying to. Yep. Few minutes so that I'll be able to get it very well. Okay. Okay, you should be able to see the whole screen now. You should be able to see the whole screen. I want to be able to show both sides now. So this is how it works. This is the logic statement now, for example. So it starts at the very first beginning. It checks for the first condition, which is if D3 is greater than or equals to 70. If it is greater than or equals to 70, yes, it's going to return A. So if it is not greater than or equals to 70, it continues again. No. It checks D3 greater than or equals to 60. Yes, if it meets that condition, it's going to stop there and return a B. If it does not meet it, it continues again. D3 greater than or equals to 50. Yes, it returns a C. If it does not meet the condition, goes down again. D goes down again. E. So if all of these conditions, if from A, B, C, D, E are not met, then it's going to return F. I'm not sure if you get that. Did we get that, please?
Yes,
Did we
I
get?
got it. But I just want
Okay.
to confirm that.
Well
Okay.
played.
I'm listening.
Okay, what I want to confirm is that last statement, that F,
Yes. Yes.
why didn't we say if D3 is
Less than.
less than
Yes, we can.
40, let it
Yeah,
become F.
we can, like, just to be on a safer side, we can, if we want to probably be on the safer side, like if the answer is say, okay, I can add another if statement here. If D3 is less than, if it is less than 40, that is anything less than 40, then return F. Oh no. If it is less than 40, let me increase this. If it is less than 40, return F, then we will still need to put the value if false. So let's say, for example, we want to put, if any of these conditions are not met, maybe we want to put wrong value, for example, now. That's just as an extra. So what this will take care of is going to take care of, say, for example, if we have a minus 23, for example, now. Yeah. Minus 23 would be an F because it is actually lesser than. Minus 23 is anything less than. Oh, no, I've not done it down. I'm coming. Let me see. Okay. Minus 23 is less than 40. But let's say what we have here is a text. This should actually give wrong value because it does not qualify, it does not meet up with any of this. This is a text. It does not meet up with any of these numbers. I don't know why it's not, should actually give wrong value. But anyways, yes, you can decide to put what was the word now? Can decide to put a caveat here for the last one, but I left it at this because, I mean, if it does not meet any of these other condition, of course, it means the person is going to score an F, of course. the grade level of the person is not within the grade range that we have here. So every other thing would fall under F. So that's why I did not include that. Any other
Okay,
person
thank
with
you. Then the number, yes,
I'm
then the
listening.
number
Okay.
of brackets,
The number of what?
the closing brackets, are we
Brackets,
going
yes.
to count the number
No,
of if that we have opened, or it's
so
automatically
you can see, yeah, you can see that when I press enter, it's going to put an error. The reason it's putting an error is because I didn't input the actual number of brackets I'm supposed to input. So it's going to automatically close itself. Like it's going to automatically create the actual number of brackets to close itself on Excel. So far is the right function, or you did not misplace words. Did we get that? So I'm just going to give us this what's it called now? For us to practice ourselves right now, so that because I want to move to the next level, but I want us to be sure that okay, I understand this very well myself. I'm coming. Okay, so we can use all of those texts. So I want us to check it out ourselves, use those texts, and I want us to use those texts and practice it ourselves in class right now. I want us to practice it ourselves. Have we seen the data on the group? Just copy the text part, just copy it directly to your Excel sheet. Copy it to your Excel sheet, and then now write the formula yourself. Because watching it can be easier sometimes. You think, okay, I think I understand this, but by the time you enter the formula yourself, that's when. So I want us to enter the formula ourselves for this grade level, this same grade level. Then we can now move from here. So let me know when you are done. Let me know when you are done. You are done already, Yemi Adetunji. So if you are done, just type I am done in the chat box. We have like 5 to 10 minutes for this, so that we'll move on. Okay, you don't have your laptop with you. Okay. For those with laptop, please, we have like 7 more minutes. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting. We have 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes for those of us that are working on it. Okay. Can you probably share a screenshot or something? Okay, for those that are done, if it's possible, you can probably send a screenshot to the group or let me know if there's any difficulty while doing it. Is there any difficulty while doing it? Okay, if there's no difficulty, so we are just going to move to the next one. We are going to move to the next one. So we've talked about if statements. So there is also or statements and statements. They are both conditional statements. There is or statements, there is and statements. There is actually no statements, like if it's neither of those two. But we are just going to stick to or and and. And this is where we are going to make use of or and and. So we want to give people pass mark. We want to give them pass mark. So we are looking for grade levels greater than we are looking for grade levels where the person scores either A, B, C. So if the person scores A, B, or C, then the person has pass mark. But if the person does not score A, B, or C within A, B, or C, then does not has pass mark. So what I mean by that is we are going to use the same if statement. So in our if statements, we are going to make use of or. So or checks whether an argument is true. So for all statements, this is how all statements works. So all statements works. So let me say only Dayo, for example now. So if I say check if the result is either Kunle or Dayo, if I'm using either Kunle or Dayo, so it means it just needs one of the conditions to be met. If one of those conditions are met, it is going to return the true statement. It just needs just one of those conditions, but if none of those conditions are met, it's going to give the false statement. But in the case of and, it needs both conditions to be met. So it means it has to be check if it is Kunle and Dayo. So if it is Kunle and Dayo, but if the result it meets, if the result it meets is Kunle and Shayo, it's going to be false because it said specifically that Kunle and Dayo. The fact that only one of it is met will make sure that it returns a false instead of true. But if it says Kunle and Shayo, then it's going to return true because it has Kunle and Shayo. So that's the difference between or and statement. So we are just going to try to practicalize it here. So for all statements, or check if this is equals to A, comma, this is equals to B, comma, this is equals to C. So it's going to check if it meets either of these, any of these statements. I'm using the or statements inside the if statement. So if E3 equals to A or B or C, then I close it, then return students passed. If false, that is, if it does not meet any of those, then students didn't pass, didn't miss the pass mark or something. Didn't, let me just put did not pass. Did not pass.
Or can you use
So I'm
student
just,
field?
What do you say?
I said, can you just use student field?
Okay, okay. Let
So
me
that
just
it's
use
not
student field. Okay, student field. And then, yeah. So we can see student field F, student field E, student field D, D, E, still student pass, E. So we can see the use case for all statements there. So in all statements, we are able to make a condition based on or, that is, if student has this score or this score or this score, then student passed. If none of those conditions are met, then it means the person failed. So that is how all statements, that is how it works. So we are going to make use of AND statements now. So for AND statements, we want to know, so we want to make use of AND statements. In this AND statements, we want to know high flyer or high achiever. So we want to do male high achiever. And then female high achiever. So let's say, let's place the grade level for male high achiever and female high achiever to, let's say, for anyone that scores anything above 60, no, 70, that is A. Student score A and is male high achiever. Student score A and is female high achiever. So that's what we only want to see, male high achiever and female high achiever. Then if it does not meet any of those, then we would leave it or we would just put none. So we are still going to make use of if statements, and we're going to make use of and, not or in this case. So this is how we use our and statements. First of all, we want to check if this equals to A, then if this equals to male. We've checked for two statements that must be right for us to have correct. The first logic is that this must be A, that is, this grade level must be A, and then it must be male for us to say male high achiever. I can decide to type this full, or I can decide to just pick this. The reason I'm picking this is because I already have male high achiever already written. So if I say select M6, it's the same thing as me putting a quote of male high achiever. I'm just telling us male high achiever. So if false, we are going to use another if and again, because we also want to incorporate the female high achiever too. So if and grade level equals to A, and then this equals to female, then it's going to be female high achiever. Then if false, let's just return below pass mark. Yes, let's return below pass mark, and then I press enter. So yeah, we're able to see, of course, we can see female high achiever, male high achiever, female high achiever, like that. We're able to see the differences, like we're able to see people that score below pass mark, people that score above pass mark, and all of that, by using the AND statements. Did we get this? I want to know if we got this or it is sounding confusing. In the chat box. Okay. Handbook. Not necessarily handbook. The best you can get is just rewatch the video. If you rewatch the video, I'm trying to see if I can get an handbook. But if you rewatch the video, you most likely be able to catch up. You didn't get this. Is there any other person that didn't get it outside Patrick? Any other person that didn't get it outside Patrick? Okay, I should recap. Okay, so let me recap. We did two things here. We used the or statement, which is for the student pass. Then this one is and statement. Like I explained the other time, for all statements, only one of the conditions have to be met for it to give out the true statement. Only one of the conditions needs to be met for it to give out the true statement. But for and statements, two of the conditions have to be met for it to give out the true statement. Two of the conditions have to be met for it to give out the true statement. So for and statement, if only one of the conditions is met, it will not return the true statement. Both conditions have to be right before it returns the true statement. So for her now, if we asked if the grade level, if it is either A or B or C, return students passed. If not, students fail. That's how we're able to get this. For this, we had to use nested if. That is, we first check. So you start with if, then, and if the score is A, and that's where the comma. So anything in this and the student is male, then return male high achiever. Then if first, the same way we did for our ABC the other time, we created another if statement, and if the grade level is A and the student is female, return female high achiever. If the person does not meet either of those two, return below pass mark. So that's how we're able to get that. That's how we're able to get that. I think it should be clear here. So the next thing we want to do is we want to use count if, the count if function. So say for example, I want to know the number of male high achiever and the number of female high achiever. So I'm just going to say count if. So the range of where I want it to count, this is the range. So I'm going to select from G3 to G52. That's the range of where I want it to count. So count if the criteria male achiever, I can just select this. The criteria is male achiever and press enter. So I have 7 male achiever. So if I move this down, what it will have done is that there is a mistake here. So what I should have done is, let me come back to this. I should have used my absolute reference, which is G3, because I want to move it down. That's why I need to use absolute reference so that it is going to stay on G3 to G52. So yeah, I'm not going to put any reference here because I want to be able to move from male high achiever to female high achiever. So yes. So it means we have 7 male high achievers and then we have 14 female high achievers. So it means in this class, for example, we have more females with high scores than male, for example. And so let's do normal count to be sure. Male 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So that is what count if does. So for count if, it was based on condition. So you are going to give it the range of what you want. For example, now let's do count of male and female, for example, male and female. So we want to know the count of male. So we are going to use count ifs. count if the range, which is from year to year, from C3 to C52. So I'm going to put this. That is the range. Then the next thing is I'm going to put the criteria. If I don't want to select this, I'm just going to enter male. Then there are 25 males. So for female, if I drag this down, I'm going to change this from male to female. Then I also have 25. So we have equal number of. So let me try to change this to male now to be sure that you can see this has changed to 26. This has changed to 24. So that is what counts if. That is what it does. So there is count if, there is some if, if you check, there is some ifs. There's some if, let me see which other, there are other ifs too. So there's count if, there is some if. We would check out some if in another scenario. So some if is just like count if. What some if does is that, so let's say some if, for example, now you select your range. So let's say, for example, we just want to sum if, so this is the range. This is the range. So we are going to declare the range of our condition. So this is the range. So sum if our criteria is male. So we want to sum the score of male. So we've declared it is 3 cases here. We have 3 cases here. The first case is the range of your criteria that you want to use, which is the range, the gender range. Then the criteria, which is male. Then the next one is the range you want it to sum. So for example, we want it to sum the score. So you are going to select the range of the score. So what it's going to do is that it is going to check this range, this gender range, and check for male. And anywhere there is male, it is going to add for male only, leaving out. So this is the total score by adding up the scores only for condition where it is male. So that is how sum if works. So for you, maybe you can do for products, you can decide to create products like say milk, tea, and all of that. Then generate data for it. Then only sum if whatever you have is probably tea, for example, or probably Milo, or whatever the case is. So that is where sum if, that is where it comes in play. So there is count if, there is sum if, there is count there, I mean there's count if, and then there is sum if. There is also some ifs. That is if you have multiple ifs that you want to, if you have multiple conditions. Say for example, condition 1 is you want it to sum for gender when it is male, where, so for example, so let's put this now. So the sum range, the first thing you are going to do is, for sum if, the first thing you are going to do is the sum range. So for this sum range, the first criteria range is, I want it to be for criteria range, and then the criteria is male. That's criteria 1. So let's say criteria 2 is students pass. So this is the range of criteria 2. And then criteria 2 is students pass. We are going to see that this result will be different from this, and then press enter. This result is different from this. The reason is because it is checking for 2 different criteria. That is, sum this up if it is male and also the students passed. Those are 2 conditions. So that is where sum ifs comes. So sum ifs comes in place of having multiple conditions met. Did we get this? Did we get this? I want us to respond if we got this. Did we get this? Did we get this? So I want us to do it as a take home, practice everything. Adenka will post the video of this class so that we'll be able to, maybe for some things that we missed out, you can probably rewatch the video and catch up with it. So I want you to, okay, I did, okay, you just need practice, yeah. So I want us to, so the data set is not limited to this. You can probably get, I have a data set, but it is very, very large. I would have shared with us, but we've not started practicing with large data sets. I have a shipping data set here that is very, very large. It's 5 MB. I think it's like 30,000 cells. There's that would have shared in this class, but maybe over time, this say for example, this particular, so you can, if you can work your way around this, probably get, say for example, if I want to find the count of toys, for example, count of toys, I'll just use count if where it is toys. So let me just show count ifs now. Count ifs. I mean count if. For example, in this case, I cannot be counting one after the other. This is a 30,000 row cells, 30 row cells. So I'm just going to divide the range, which is this from year to year. That's the range. And my criteria is, I just wanted to count toys. Anywhere there is toys, count. We have 73 rows that has toys. So that is how count is. That is how it works. So you can probably generate a sales data. Maybe use ChatGPT to generate sales data, maybe 50 rows or 100 rows, depending on, ChatGPT will generate it in CSV for you. And then you copy it and paste it. You copy it and paste it to your Excel sheet, and then check out. You can work around everything we've done, from if statements to or statements to and statements to count if to count ifs or some ifs, as the case may be. So I want us to work on this and then submit. Today is Tuesday, and submit. Today is actually supposed to be our, what's it called now? Our revision class. But because we didn't have a class on Sunday, so I want us to submit before class on Thursday, please. So use your own data. It necessarily does not have to be a school data. You can decide to use school and grade data too, but you can use a sales data, and then, but make sure whatever you are doing, you are able to show for all of these if statements. So another case can be weather, maybe a particular weather, maybe cold or hot, based on a particular temperature level. That's an example. But just generate your data and then make sure you use the if statements, make sure you use the or statements, make sure you use the and statements, make sure you use the count if statements, if possible, the sum if statements too, if possible. So I'm expecting that we'll have different data sets. Yes, I'm expecting that we'll have different data sets, but I just want to make sure that we understand and we're able to use this particular logic across board. So I'll be expecting our submission before the class on Thursday. I'll be expecting our submission before the class on Thursday. Does anyone has any question? Any question before we end the class? Is there any question?
Yes, I do.
Okay, my
Okay.
own
I have a
question
question.
is,
Okay, I'm listening. What's your question?
Hello?
Yeah,
Can
your
I go
question,
on?
sir. Yeah, you can go on your question.
All right. I've copied. I don't know if I can share my screen. I've copied I generated something on ChatGPT and I copied it, but it's not aligning like this. It's
Oh,
showing more like in a raw format in CFZ file.
okay, let me see. Let me see if you can share your screen.
Okay, just give me some
Do you have
minutes.
the
Let me
share screen function?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming, please.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
problem.
So
I'm thinking what the issue is that when you generated the data, it was showing a raw form. It was showing in raw form such that the way it's displayed in your Excel was not arranged. So what you should
exactly.
do, yeah. So what you should do when you want to paste in Excel is try, instead of directly pasting as Control V, you can try to use Control Shift V. That is, it is going to paste the raw format without the edit from the format from ChatGPT.
Control Shift V, right?
V, yes. So when you
Okay,
copy
okay.
from ChatGPT,
I don't know what's wrong with my sharing. I don't know because I did it the last time so for this time it's not even. It's
okay,
just taking me back.
try to
So
do
share screen.
try to do Control Shift V first and see if there's a change.
I don't know. Can you see my screen now?
I am coming.
Can you see my screen?
Okay, I can see your screen now.
So
I
this
can
is
see
what
it.
it's sent. It's pasted the raw file. So I should do Control
Okay.
Shift V.
Oh, I see now. I see. Okay, go back.
Okay. Um,
Go back to
so this is
ChatGPT
it.
itself. Go back to ChatGPT
Yeah, this
itself.
is. Yeah, this is it.
Oh, okay.
This is it.
This is like a Python generated file. So tell it to generate just name and gender. Generate name and gender only. Column. Generate name and gender in column.
Okay.
Yes. This is a Python file only. Yes. Name and gender column only. In column. Yes.
Is this prompt
Or in
correct?
table. Just say in table. In table. Yes, in
Okay,
table,
in
not
table.
column. In table. Yeah.
All right. All right. Random. Should I put random?
Just
Generate
leave it.
random names in general.
Yes. In table. Press enter.
Okay. Uh, what is it doing?
Just press stay logged out. Press stay log
Sorry?
out.
Still like that.
Yes.
Okay, it has generated one. So I can copy this, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, this will work. So just copy the name and the no, you are copying. So well, you can
The
use
raw
that.
file.
Move up a bit. Let me see. There should be a copy at the top.
Okay, yeah. This copy
Yes,
table. Okay, yeah.
yes. Use that.
Okay.
So paste that
Okay.
in.
Let me open a new sheet. Okay. So what do you say I should use? Control Shift V, right?
Yes. Does it work?
I'm not sure. I'm pressing everything together.
Okay,
No,
press Control V then.
all right, it worked. Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
It's worked. Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. All right, thank you. It's fine now. Thank you very much.
If you have another question, I'm going to be ending this class.
Okay. Okay. Let me.
All right, so I'm ending this class. So we can always rewatch if there is anything that we did not understand, like rewatch the video. I think Inka is going to post the video for us to check. And also, don't let us forget the assessment I told us to do. So thank you everyone for joining today's class. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Thank you.